I think one of the biggest criticisms, the chaos aside, of yesterday's proceedings in the annual address from Carrie Lam is that she's essentially tried to give an economic resolution to a problem, a standoff that needs a political solution. Is that possible?
No, I don't think so. I think that what she did yesterday, I think the market was disappointed. I think they are looking for more supply of land, and she didn't address that issue well enough.
What can she potentially offer to get the legislative support for these measures to go through? And will they be enough to even go some way to appease what the protesters are hoping for?
It is a long question. I think that the protesters are asking for the 5 demands, and I don't think, she fulfilled one already. I think she's working on the rest, and she's changed some of the 5 issues that they asked. But I think the protesters are asking for more.
The protesters are, of course, asking for more, the 5 different issues and demands that they're asking for. In terms of the younger protesters who point to the inequality as being endemic of the lack of democratic process that they see in Hong Kong, you've said that it's their fault, it's the young people's fault?
Well, I think that, this whole thing start from this year, early year, about the bill, and people were asking about, they were thinking about the extradite the other person going back to China. I think that started there, but I think this whole thing is a big movement from other countries trying to overthrow the Hong Kong government. So I don't think that even she fulfill the 5 demands, it won't stop.
Foreign governments, what evidence do you have of that?
Well, if you're looking at the slogan about the protester, these are all Taiwanese Chinese. And you can see that, the protesters, or I call them rioters, they're well-financed, they're well-organized, and you're looking at their logistics. I mean, some of their logistics, they travel even better than the police in Hong Kong. And this movement came from, coming from after 2014, so it never stopped.
Exactly. We had this protest in 2014 as well, right? And in fact, this time around, it seems that they're less organized, that there are more grassroots moves coming from different sides of Hong Kong. So I don't understand how you could say that their logistics is better and that they're more organized when there doesn't seem to be a clear leader when it comes to these pro-democracy protests.
Well, there's a leader. People say there's no leader. Now, if you see look, Hong Kong now is the biggest capital of fake news capital in the world, okay? If you can come out and look at the news, and I know a lot of Western media at first say this is peaceful. Now you see the bomb, you see the gas bomb, and then you see the time bomb. And now it is what is really pathetic. Now you're seeing kids from 11 years old to 14 years old. I mean, what happened to that? It's all coming from the media, the social media they create. So I'm saying that it create them into, like some people in Hong Kong have emotional disorder.
As those pictures that we're seeing right now show, we clearly can see violence on the streets of Hong Kong. When you're clearly seeing that protesters are getting beaten up and that violence against police is also rampant, I'm not quite sure if you can call this fake news. It's just right there, visible to everybody's eyes. I think the key question is, how do you move forward from here? How can the government of Hong Kong find some concession with protesters, and what kind of debate can you have when you've had 5 months of ongoing violence?
As I said before, this is not a simple demonstration. This is not simple. There's someone behind there. There's a big leader behind there. You know, I think the Western media is not being fair to the police in Hong Kong also. The
We
Hong
have
Kong police
reported
are very
clearly
strict.
that police have been hurt, that we had a police officer whose neck was slashed. We have talked about the explosive device that was detonated near a police car. So we have reported on both sides of the story. However, we're not
Just
really
lately,
clearly
just
showing how
lately.
you can move this story forward and how these 5 months of protests can end.
I don't see an end of it. I think we will keep going on, and we have to depend on the police to safeguard of Hong Kong.
Charles, at the end of the day, you're looking at a situation where the government is increasingly isolated. The protesters are increasingly angry. They just keep essentially screaming past each other. It doesn't look like, this standoff can come to any sort of compromise. Do you think Carrie Lam's policies yesterday will go any way towards appeasing people? What are your thoughts on the package that she delivered yesterday?
Maybe some people. It's not enough. She got to find the supply of land to make the land prices go lower. I think the supply of land, supply and demand, supply of land will help a bit.
But what is the resolution?
I don't know if you answer me that question. I wish I can give you one.
Are you concerned about where this leaves Hong Kong, though?
No, I mean, look,
Continue.
I think mainland China has demonstrated one country, two systems very well. You've got freedom in Hong Kong, right? Free of capital flow and free of movement. Now, I'm not sure what kind of freedom they want.
What sort of debate can you have with the young generation? Because we continue to see, it seems, this generational gap on the views towards Beijing. Now, if these young people are supposed to lead the future of Hong Kong, what sort of debate do you need to have in order to move forward?
I'm not sure where. Look, we are talking about young people, okay? Young people, now we're now coming up with 11 years old or 12 years old or 15 years old throwing gas bomb. I mean, what kind of young people we are talking about? I'm just surprised that the fake media is bringing out these young people. I'm sure that the opposition party should be very happy. I never seen that
Charles, so
as
far,
the children. Yes.
Charles, so far in
Go
this
ahead.
conversation, you've attributed blame to the foreign media, to foreign external forces in Taiwan, to the fake media domestically and abroad, as well as to young people. But at the end of the day, the government are the adults at the table, or should be the adults at the table. So is there a way forward for this government to be able to actually communicate and liaise with the protesters and find a compromise and move forward?
Well, but the opposition party never want to sit down. They are against everything. Now, if you've seen the president of Singapore said that yesterday they want to overthrow the government. This is the aim. I don't think they can do that.